All right, so today we're diving headfirst into the 5 a.m. Club. We're talking straight from the source, and let me tell you, this book does not hold back.
It's amazing how this book takes what could be like a dry self-help topic
Yeah.
and turns it into this whole adventure.
Oh, absolutely. You're not just getting a list of things to do, you're thrown right into a story.
Yeah. With characters, you totally get like they're struggling with real stuff, trying to figure out how to, live their best lives.
Okay, so imagine this. You've got this entrepreneur right on the verge of a breakdown. Her company's about to go under.
Wow.
Then you've got this incredible artist, but they're wrestling with their own stuff, searching for meaning.
I feel like we've all been there.
Right. And then, bam, in walks this, what would you call him, this eccentric billionaire who lives by this whole 5 a.m. method.
Yeah. Like a life architect kind of figure, right? Someone who's figured out the secrets to success, but not just in the traditional way.
Exactly. And it's their encounter with him that kind of unravels the whole 5 a.m. philosophy, which, by the way, is way more than just waking up early.
Right. It's not just a productivity hack.
No, not at all. It's about this whole transformation, this idea of unlocking your potential, not just to get more done.
Yeah, but to live a more fulfilling life overall.
Like, right from the start, the book throws down this challenge. Are you cool with being average, or are you ready for elite performance? But, and this is key in a way that doesn't burn you out.
Okay, now that's intriguing. So that's where this whole twin cycles of elite performance thing comes
Yeah.
in, right? It's like to be truly successful, you gotta have those intense periods of like just really focused work. But, and this is huge, you can have a dedicated recovery time too.
Yeah, it's like that work hard, play hard idea, but with a purpose, you know?
Exactly.
Like, I used to think just putting in crazy hours meant better results. Man, was I wrong? I was totally burning myself out.
It's so easy to fall into that trap though, right?
Yeah.
But this book really drives home that rest isn't just some luxury. Like it's not selfish or anything.
Right.
It's essential. Like think about it. Athletes wouldn't skip recovery days. It's how they prevent injuries and actually improve.
That's true.
We need to think of our minds and bodies the same way if we want to operate at our best.
So it's about working smarter, not just harder.
100%.
And speaking of athletes, the book mentions this idea called supercompensation. And it reminded me of working out, like you're pushing your muscles to their limit so they grow back stronger.
Yeah,
Is that kind of what it's getting at?
Yeah.
That you can build willpower like a muscle?
exactly. By pushing yourself with this 5 a.m. routine, you're basically giving your discipline a workout.
Okay.
It's like you're challenging it, letting it recover, and then it comes back even stronger.
So what are we actually doing during this victory hour from 5 to 6 a.m.? Because just waking up early doesn't magically make you more disciplined.
Well, the book lays out this 20-20-20 formula, so it breaks that hour into 3 different sections.
Okay, so 3 20-minute pockets. What's in those?
So first up, you've got move, sweat, and they really emphasize intense exercise here.
Intense.
Yeah, I think wind sprints, a really quick HIIT routine, anything to get your heart rate up, get you sweating, really wake up your body and your mind.
I gotta say, as someone who used to be the queen of hitting snooze, getting moving in the morning has been a game changer. It really does set you up differently for the whole day.
Right. It totally changes your energy. And then you shift gears for the second 20 minutes, reflect, meditate. This is where you go inward. It could be journaling, meditation. Honestly, even just sitting quietly for a few minutes and just paying attention to your breath can make a huge difference.
Instead of just rolling out of bed and immediately checking your phone and getting sucked into that reactive mode.
Exactly. It's about being proactive with your mindset right from the start.
Love it. All right, so we've got the body moving. We've taken some time for reflection. What's the final 20 minutes?
All right, so that last pocket is grow, learn. It's all about feeding your mind. Maybe you read a biography of someone you admire, listen to a podcast,
Hey, I like the way you think.
or finally start that online course you've been putting off. It's your dedicated time for learning and personal growth.
So it's like a trifecta. Body, mind, and expanding your knowledge. I can see how doing this before most people even wake up could be really powerful. But what about those of us who struggle with actually sticking to a routine? I know I've started a million and one things only to fall off after a week.
Oh, you are definitely not alone there. I think we've all been there. And the book acknowledges this. It talks about the 66-day minimum.
66 days.
Yeah, basically, that's like the amount of time science says it takes to really make a new habit stick.
Oh, wow. So it's not just me.
Yeah, not at all. That's our brains,
Yeah.
It takes time to rewire those neural pathways.
So it's really about consistency then, not beating ourselves up if we miss a day or two.
Exactly. The key is just to keep coming back to it. Think of it as a long-term investment in yourself.
That's a good way to look at it. You're not just building a morning routine, you're building a foundation.
Yes. And it's not just for your work life either. It can impact your relationships, your own personal growth, everything.
So it's about that bigger picture.
Exactly. And, the book doesn't just stop at the morning routine. It dives into some really cool strategies to maximize your entire day and prevent burnout, too.
Oh, like what?
One that really stood out to me was the 90-91 rule.
Okay, what's that one?
So the idea is to take the first 90 minutes of your workday and dedicate them solely to your most important task, like the one thing that'll really move the needle for you that day. No distractions, no multitasking.
Just laser focus, get it done.
Yes. It's like that saying, eat the frog first. Get the hardest thing out of the way when you have the most energy and willpower.
I like that. Okay, so what about the other strategies?
Well, there's also the 60-10 method to combat decision fatigue. So you're working in these focus bursts for 60 minutes, and then you take 10 minutes to recharge. It's all about working with your natural energy cycles.
So you're not constantly trying to power through when you're clearly hitting a wall.
Exactly. And this next one I thought was really interesting. It's called Zero Device Days. Have you heard of
You
this?
think so? Is that the one where you basically just unplug from all technology for a whole day?
Yes. The book really stresses the importance of disconnecting from all the digital noise and giving yourself a chance to deeply recover. Apparently, the billionaire in the book, he takes like 3 months off every year.
What, like a whole summer?
Yeah, June, July, August, he's
Yeah.
off sailing, biking, reading, sleeping, really giving himself that time to recharge.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is. And it really highlights how crucial it is to step away from the constant stimulation. It gives you that space for solitude, for reflection, for connecting with nature, which the book argues are super important for well-being and creativity.
And it's interesting because we see the entrepreneur in the book struggle with this. She's always plugged in, stressed out, feeling that pressure to always be on.
Totally.
And it's only when she starts applying these principles, especially prioritizing recovery and disconnecting, that her whole perspective starts to shift.
Right. At the beginning, she's about to lose her company
Yeah.
and is just desperate for that quick fix.
Yeah, but by the end, she's not only like fighting back against those investors who want to control her company, but she's finding this sense of inner peace too.
Yes. And she's reconnected with her passion, the reason she started her company in the first place.
It's like her whole journey in the book shows how personal growth and professional success aren't separate, they're totally intertwined.
100%. And it speaks to the deeper message of the book, which is about figuring out what your values are and making sure your actions line up with them.
It's not just about chasing external success, but about finding joy in what you do and how you live your life.
Exactly. And then there's this whole concept of the heroic human circle. I'll admit the first time I read it, I was like, what?
Yeah, it's not the most intuitive name.
No, not at all. But when you actually dive into it, it's actually really cool.
Okay, so what is it?
It's not about being a superhero or anything like that. It's about cultivating your inner virtues, things like courage, compassion, integrity, understanding. It's about striving to just be a better human, not just a more productive one.
So it's like that saying, success leaves clues, but it's not just about copying what other people do to achieve things. It's more about figuring out what's going on inside, what qualities actually make for a better life, a more meaningful life.
Yeah, absolutely. And, speaking of those inner qualities, the book breaks down what it calls the 5 assets of genius. They are mindset, heart set, health set, soul set, and business set. And the idea is it's not enough to just be smart or driven.
Okay.
You need all of these things to cultivate like a real sense of well-being.
Interesting. Okay, I'm curious. Can we dive into those a little more? What exactly are those assets?
Sure. So like take mindset, for example. This is all about cultivating a growth mindset. So like instead of being afraid of challenges, you see them as opportunities to learn and grow.
Oh, I like that.
Right. And you're constantly seeking out new knowledge and new experiences. It's like you're always upgrading your mental software, becoming more adaptable, more resilient.
So it's not just about being smart, it's about being a lifelong learner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then there's heart set, which is really focused on emotional intelligence, empathy, and, building strong, healthy relationships.
So it's like leading with your heart as much as your head,
Yeah, and being really present and connected with the people in your life.
which I think is something a lot of us struggle with.
Oh, totally. Especially in a world that's constantly telling us to hustle and achieve, But that's where soul set comes in. This one's all about connecting with something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Whether that's through spirituality, nature, acts of service.
Well, finding your purpose, basically, your why.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. It's like that quote, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. It's about making sure your actions are aligned with something you truly believe in.
love it. All right, what about the other two?
Okay, so then you've got health set, which is pretty straightforward. It's all about taking care of your physical well-being.
So the basics, eating well, exercising, getting enough sleep.
Yes. It's recognizing that your body is your instrument and you need to take care of it.
That makes sense. And then last but not least, we have business set.
Right. And this one doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an entrepreneur or anything. It's more about having that entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
So like being resourceful, taking initiative, always looking for ways to add value.
So no matter what you do, you're always striving to be the best version of yourself.
Yes. And when you combine all 5 of these assets, you create this foundation for what the book calls a world-class life. And it's not just about success in the traditional sense.
Right. It's about living a life of purpose, a life that feels really fulfilling.
Exactly. And, the billionaire in the book, he actually shares some of his own personal maxims, like these guiding principles that have helped him along the way. And one that really stuck with me was to create magic in the world, own the magic within yourself. It's so good, right?
I love that. It's like recognizing that true power comes from within.
Yeah. You have everything you need already inside of you. Another one I really liked was collect miraculous experiences over material things.
Yes, in a world that's obsessed with stuff, with buying more and more, it's such an important reminder to prioritize experiences, to really savor life.
Totally. Okay, so I'm curious, as we're kind of wrapping up this deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club, what's really sticking with you? What's your biggest takeaway?
Honestly, I think it's that combination of being intentional with your time and taking action. It's not enough to just say you want to make a change. You have to actually get up and do the work. And the 5 a.m. method gives you this framework, this structure to do that.
It's like you're taking control of your day before the day even starts.
Yes. And you're showing up as the best version of yourself, not just for you, but for the people around you, for the world. So to everyone listening, here's something to think about. What does success really mean to you, and how can you start unlocking your own potential, creating your own magic in the world, starting with how you choose to spend those precious morning hours? This deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club has given us a lot to ponder, and we hope it's inspired you to take action, to embrace the journey of self-discovery, and to create a life that really lights you up, a life that feels aligned with who you truly are.